You were sold a multi-trillion-dollar lie. Go to school, get straight A's, collect a piece of paper, and you'll corporate climb your way to wealth. But in America today, that ticket, freedom, is actually a financial death sentence, designed to lock you into the middle class forever. The modern education system was never actually built to make you rich. It was intentionally engineered to do the exact opposite. Welcome to level 1 of the ultimate compliance factory, where you pay 6 figures just to learn how to become an obedient Mac employee. Think about it. Why does school aggressively punish you for collaborating with others, calling it cheating, when the real world literally demands teamwork to build anything of massive value? There is a dark, hidden blueprint behind this that dates back over 100 years, and it involves one of the wealthiest oil tycoons in history who wanted workers, not thinkers. We are breaking down that exact blueprint in this video, but first, let's look at why your high school valedictorian is currently struggling to pay basic rent in a major city. The system forces you into a 16-year conditioning program. You sit still for 8 hours, you ring bells to switch tasks, and you ask for absolute permission just to use the restroom. This isn't education, it's corporate onboarding. They aren't testing your intelligence, they are testing your compliance. They need you to accept micro-rewards like a letter grade so that later in life, you'll easily settle for a corporate 3% annual raise while your boss buys a third vacation home off your hard labor. It's a beautifully designed trap. By the time you graduate, you have zero practical knowledge about taxes, investing, credit scores, or how money actually works. You are financially blindfolded and thrown straight into the shark tank. And here is where the scam turns hyper-predatory. To get that entry-level job that pays $50,000 a year, you are forced to take on massive debt that cannot be wiped out even if you go bankrupt. Think about that. The US government allows an 18-year-old to borrow $100,000 for a useless degree, but won't lend them money to start a business. Why? Because a young entrepreneur with zero debt is dangerous to the establishment. They don't want you independent. They need you desperate enough to accept a low-paying cubicle job just to pay the interest on your loans. You become a literal economic hostage before your career even begins. And the worst part is, society congratulates you while you walk straight into the cage. This brings us to level 2, the industrial blueprint. To understand how we got here, we have to look at the secret meeting that reshaped human psychology forever.
In 1903, John D. Rockefeller created the General Education Board. He poured millions into the American schooling system, but it wasn't an act of charity. It was a calculated business investment. Industrial tycoons needed millions of workers who could operate machinery all day without asking questions, complaining about wages, or organizing unions. The solution was the Prussian education model. This system was literally designed by military minds to produce obedient soldiers and factory hands. They stripped away individual creativity and replaced it with standardized testing, rows of desks, and rigid schedules.
Fast forward to today, and the factory assembly lines are gone, replaced by corporate tech stacks and spreadsheet rows. But the school system hasn't changed a single bit. It's still processing human beings exactly like products. Look at how degrees are inflating. 30 years ago, a college degree was rare and valuable. Today, it's the bare minimum requirement to filter out resumes for entry-level positions that don't even require advanced knowledge. It's a classic fiat bubble. The cost of college has soared over 1,200% since 1980, outpacing every single other sector of the economy, including healthcare and housing. Yet, the actual value of the information they teach you inside those lecture halls has dropped to near zero. You can learn more about high-income skills from a $10 internet course or a free technical video than from a $40,000 a year university professor who hasn't worked in the actual market for 2 decades. The math simply does not compute anymore. You are trading 4 prime years of compounding interest and career growth just to buy a glorified permission slip to apply for a job that might be automated by artificial intelligence before you even cross the graduation stage. This is where the trap tightens into level 3, the W-2 tax matrix. When you become a traditional W-2 employee, you enter the highest tax demographic in the entire United States. The tax code is literally written to reward business owners and investors while punishing the wage earner. As an employee, you are taxed on your gross income before you ever touch a single dollar to pay your rent, buy your groceries, or feed your family. Meanwhile, corporations and business structures do the exact opposite. They earn revenue, spend money on expenses, investments, and expansion, and are only taxed on whatever profit is left over. School never taught you this distinction because they needed you to stay on the losing side of the tax equation. They conditioned you to look at a high salary as the ultimate goal, without realizing that without financial literacy, a higher salary just means a higher tax bracket and a faster descent into the lifestyle creep trap. You are running faster on a treadmill that is designed to keep you exhausted, dependent, and completely broke at the end of every single month. This brings us to the ultimate psychological mechanism of the system, the golden handcuffs. Once you get that corporate job, you start financing a lifestyle you can't actually afford to prove to your peers that your degree was worth it. Buy the luxury car lease, the upscale apartment, and the subscription services. Suddenly, you can't quit the job you hate because you are 3 payments away from absolute financial ruin. Now, pay extremely close attention, because this is the exact moment in the video where 90% of people tune out and return to their comfortable illusion. Here is the brutal truth.
Here is the brutal truth about your 401k. The system tells you to lock your money away for 40 years into mutual funds, promising you'll be a millionaire. Level 4, permissionless leverage. The elite do not build wealth by trading our dollars or clipping coupons. They build wealth by creating scalable digital or physical assets.
They lock your capital away so Wall Street firms can use your liquidity to invest in real assets, while you are left holding paper promises. To win this game, you must unlock.
But they hide the fact that real inflation will degrade the purchasing power of that $1 million so severely that it will buy you nothing but a mediocre retirement in a hyperinflated world. In 2026, the internet has completely democratized leverage. You no longer need millions of dollars from a bank to start a business or reach a global audience. You have permissionless leverage without requiring a paycheck or health insurance. This is how a kid can out-earn a corporate executive. He is scaling asymmetric output, which is functionally infinite, without requiring a paycheck, health insurance, or a physical office space. This is how a 22-year-old kid living in a small town can out-earn a Harvard MBA corporate executive. By 5 times over. The corporate executive is trading linear time, which is finite. The digital asset creator is scaling asymmetric output, which is functionally infinite. To transition out of the educational scam, you don't need to quit your job tomorrow. That's a reckless mistake. You need to start building your parallel asset stack during your evening hours. Stop spending your weekends consuming entertainment designed to keep your brain numb. Use that time to acquire media literacy, audience building, copywriting, or system automation skills. These are the real-world currencies that the modern economy actually rewards. Once your parallel digital asset revenue matches your primary W-2 salary, the corporate matrix loses all its power over your life decisions. You are finally free. But to scale that asset from a basic side hustle into a multi-million-dollar cash-flowing engine that pays 0 taxes legally, you absolutely must master the hidden architecture of how the global banking elite manipulate the money supply and asset prices behind closed doors. Because if you don't understand the macro game of the Federal Reserve, you will always be playing on a rigged field. To see exactly how they pull those strings, click right here, because